Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the ways of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in his law do we meditate day and night. For we shall be like trees planted by the rivers of water, that bringeth forth our fruit in our season. Our leaves shall not wither, and whatsoever we do shall prosper. Auntie Elaine, good evening, good evening. How are you doing, Auntie Elaine? Here's hoping that you are doing well. Bless you, my auntie. Big up yourself. One love. Welcome to Talk Jamaica, everybody. Share up the live as you come on. Share it up, please, and thanks as you come on. Lick up a share. Lick up a share as you come on. Share up the live as you come on. Please, Portland Spice ambassadors. We're still not at 10,000 subscribers as yet. We are on our way to 10,000 subscribers. Yeah, man. Link up, link up, link up, link up. Share up the live, my people. Share it up. Like it up, same time. Talk Jamaica is on this Sunday evening, the 12th day of April. Yeah, man. Share up the live as we take you in a special Talk Jamaica this evening. And I say it's special because normally in Talk Jamaica we don't carry guests. But this evening we expect to have a guest or two, maybe two. So share up the live. Lots of things happening that you need to talk about. So we're going to open the phone lines in a few. Invite you to call in and give you a talk. But make some more people join now. Make some more people join. Wow, so we are going already? We are going good. Share it up. Share it up so everybody can link up. Lest you forget, let's remind you of what the president, the 63rd president of the JTA said.
Required to work in conditions that compromise safety, dignity, and effectiveness. We will speak and we will act. Because what is happening is not just inconvenience. It is a violation of rights. It undermines the ILO Convention of Occupational Health and Safety that was ratified by this country more than 25 years ago. It violates the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child, and it offends the spirit and law of the Child Care and Protection Act. And the conditions, colleagues, are deeply troubling. Reports of shelterees engaging in sexual activity within the clear view of students is something that everyone should be.
It's a test just now.
Hold on, where you going? Play about that. I want to play about that part.
And the inconvenience.
Listen it.
It is a violation of rights. It undermines the ILO Convention of Occupational Health and Safety that was ratified by this country more than 25 years ago. It violates the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child, and it offends the spirit and law of the Child Care and Protection Act. And the conditions, colleagues, are deeply troubling. Reports of shelterees engaging in sexual activity within the clear view of students is something that everyone should be.
It's a test just now.
Right now, several
reports of shelterees engaging in sexual activity within the clear view of students.
So, I want to get it,
exposed to the elements, along with their teachers, while classrooms to be occupied by shelterees under fan. That is not just unacceptable, it is outrageous. Something that no modern-day society or government should countenance, yet alone seek to defend. And that's what we are hearing. With the greatest of respect to my colleagues in the Ministry of Education. there's almost this defense, and that we should have compassion. But what about the rights of our individuals? What about the rights of our teachers? What about the rights of our students? And while our teachers continue to endure these conditions, they are also watching the slow pace of negotiations. They are watching the lack of urgency and engagement. They are becoming weary. And let me say this clearly. A weary workforce will not remain passive indefinitely. We have sought dialogue. We have exercised patience. But there's a growing sentiment that teachers may soon need to assert their position more forcefully. But even as we confront these realities, colleagues, we must examine how we are defining future-proofing, because it appears less like strategic planning and more like misplaced priorities.
That is what it is. Misplaced priorities.
Reports of shelter.
That is what it is. Misplaced priorities, and a lot of clowns and goons gathering around the government's wagon to support Arms House. You hear me? Supporting Arms House. That's what you all are doing. Those of you who are supporting the government and going after the messenger. The man never say him see people, shelterees, engaging in intercourse in open view. Never say him see it. And that's why I went back to play about that part of the clip.
Reports of shelterees engaging in sexual activity within the clear view of students is something that everyone should be.
Reports of shelteree engaging in intercourse in clear view. Report. You set of dummies. Those of you who are asking for evidence and running off on a mouth about who are tell lie, instead of you realize who is incompetent, who is derelict in their duties. Listen to what the Prime Minister told us in the Parliament.
This totals approximately US $662 million in liquidity that was available almost immediately following the hurricane.
You did hear that? Hear it again.
This totals approximately US $662 million in liquidity that was available almost immediately following the hurricane.
So, if that was available almost immediately following the hurricane, why are people still in shelters, Mr. Prime Minister? Talk Jamaica, good evening.
My brother, Colin Anthony Bell.
Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah.
Yes.
Happy to hear you.
Yeah,
for some rational reasoning, sir.
Good to be here, brother. Good
Blessings.
To be here. I could not hold my peace, you know, man. Yeah?
Yes.
I haven't hold my piece of stone, I'm going to cry out. You understand?
Yes.
So, right now, happy to be with you and all those who are online. Eh?
Yes.
Colin, listen to me, brother. You see, two contributions I want to make, and let me go in sequence. Let me first commend, yeah? Commendations, right? Appreciation, yeah? And gratification to the Cuban contingent that was here, yeah?
Yes.
And served us well, yeah? Out of the abundance of their love and kindness, yeah?
Yes.
To us here over these many, many years, yeah? And unceremoniously, yeah? They had to depart this country. Shame on Jamaica, yeah? Shame on the government of Jamaica, yeah? The people of Jamaica, yeah? Celebrate the relationship that we have had with the Cubans, our brothers, for these many years. And anybody who seek to interrupt that or who have interrupted that, they can't find a valid reason why they cannot find a rational justification for what they have done with all the politics and with all the hegemonistic manipulations. Them can't find nothing rational to say. So we have to just say, brethren, we love
Respect
and appreciate
and thanks.
And thanks.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
This latter one, man, forever.
Yes, man. Forever
this
grateful.
Latter one here now about the shelteries. Listen to me, man. These people are not shelteries. Our brothers and sisters are not shelteries. They are refugees and nomads in their own country. I said them are refugees and nomad in their own country. Shame and disgrace and dishonor.
You know, let me tell you something mystical. You see, all of the people them when me hear a come out against Mark Malava and I defend the government on a sick me stomach.
Stupid.
On a sick stomach.
Yeah. Stupid. And it shows their ignorance. And not only ignorance, their lack of understanding.
I not call it no ignorance no more mystical. And I call
it them done. So that kind of ignorance
mystical. No, they're not done. These people are deliberately out there spinning and trying to deceive the Jamaican people. These people are a bunch of wicked people.
Definitely.
A bunch of wicked people.
Definitely. And me never stop bleed. Never stop bleed. We start with ignorance. Wicked, sinister, cruel, unkind. Unrelated.
Unpatriotic.
Unhinged, from the Jamaican people. Brutal, traitors, mercenaries,
and then to hear
and more.
And then to hear Desmond Mackenzie talking about the president is undermining the people. Undermining Desmond?
Listen, undermining these people.
Desmond,
these people think
you have been derelict in your duty. You should step aside.
These people, Shaka, think that all of us are boo-boos. We have no sense, and they are speaking to an ignorant crowd that they have captured over these many years that they have taken over the reins of government. These people think that they have done so much to illiteraise us. If that's a word. You get what I'm saying?
That
they
what we know
so
is just what they teach us.
You
Mad
get what I'm saying
mad.
to you? But watch this, listen this, and you can interpret it. I say I interpret to the people. If you inhabit a space which is your own, it's your domestic space, it's where you live, it's where you eat, it's where you drink, well, you have sex there too.
Then look here, mystical.
Hold on, if I them yard.
But hold on.
If I them yard.
Hold on. You'd have heard me say to people more than once that anywhere, any situation you exist in for 6 weeks, you either going to get good at it or it going to kill you. So if you live in our place for 6 weeks, not 6 months, 6 weeks, it becomes the norm for you.
Yeah, man. And that is what they have done to the people.
Mystical, I asked a lady Friday evening. If a man and a woman in a space that they've been living in, isn't it natural for him to give her a kiss, deep kiss her chops every now and again? Isn't it natural for him to slap her up on her ass every now and again? Hug her up and
you believe.
Make suggestive.
Of course it becomes normal.
Isn't that a normal thing for a couple?
Of course.
So
you adjust your life to your condition. And this is what they have done to the people, impoverish them, that they adjust their life to their condition.
And then Desmond Mackenzie talking about somebody undermining the people. Is you undermine them, Desmond?
Are wicked and cruel.
You, Desmond Mackenzie.
They are not relatable to us. Are related to us in any way.
You know the question.
These people are aliens and
you know the question, mystical?
To the struggle.
You know the question? Are these people being punished? Is it punish them or punish them?
Listen to me, man. These people have no relationship with any philosophy that ground them in what it takes to respond, yeah, to representation. Them not know that. All them know is partisanship. All them know is what them know, and that is partisanship. Now tell me now, Shaka. You tell me if the argument is about sex. The argument is not about people having sex or cooking or cleaning or washing or bathing because in yard you made it young. They should not be there.
No.
They should not have been there. And even if they have been there for 2 weeks or so, 6 months should not have passed, and they are still there. So shame on them.
2 months is acceptable.
But they are government.
2
Shame
months
on
is
them.
acceptable, not a day over.
A shame on them. You know what I'm saying? But it is deliberate because they are an apartheid regime. Yeah? An apartheid regime. They love not the black man. Yeah? And they have been assigned the responsibility to make them nigger you know say. And this them must stay forever and forever. You come talk about this is and then you talk about politics, jail, PMB. No, this is about the honor of the African man down here, so, and what they are doing to the African man down here, so, yeah, we don't see it, and we celebrate them and jump behind them and neglect and reject our brothers and sisters who are under pressure. Yeah, we're wicked to ourselves.
Dangerous.
And no better will come to this nation if we don't understand ourselves, understand what they have put us through from that time till that to this time. Yeah, look what our progenitors have gone through, blood, sweat, and tears to have reached this stage of modernity, whereby we have reached nowhere and will get nowhere because the oppressors are on our back, same way the Vikings, the Buccaneers, yeah, and the pirates. Their children are here to ensure that we move no further.
You realize who are the friends of this government?
Of course.
Benjamin
the wickedest people in the world.
Benjamin Netanyahu is a friend of Prime Minister Andrew Holness.
Of course, the genociders. Look, show you my company, all put you used to say.
Tell you who
you are.
Yes.
Yeah. So you're showing up yourself. You're not love we. See who you love there? People who murder
children and whole women and whole men.
You get what I'm saying? Bomb hospitals and schools.
Yes.
Yeah. And children. Yo.
And someone out there on a platform defending this. Defending this. Who are all you? Man. Who are these people, Mystical? Who are, and I'm not talking about the government now. I am talking about those minions who are on social media defending this.
They are paid,
trying to attack Mark Malava, trying to attack the messenger. You need to go read up about Child Care and Protection Act. It does not start with evidence.
But what evidence you have to provide?
You come out asking about you want evidence.
Should not be there. They should not be there over these many months.
Why are they not asking for evidence when police go out there and shoot gunmen? So-called quote-unquote gunmen. Why you not asking for evidence that time?
Shaka. These people raise the dead and enrage them, man.
Hey, tell her these people are wicked. Wicked,
these
mystically.
Sinister people walk up and down and jump up and down, being paid for nothing. Yeah?
Hey.
Laughing and chatting and eating and drinking and the blood of our people. Wicked and evil people. Yeah? Wicked and evil people. Brother, you keep on.
How long shall the wicked reign over my people?
You get what I'm saying?
How long?
Why do they then rage on the people? Imagine a vain thing. The kings of the earth set themselves and rulers take counsel against the Lord and anointed saying, break their bands asunder and cast away their cards from us. He that sitteth in them shall laugh. The Lord shall have them in derision and shall speak unto them his wrath and vex them in his sore displeasure.
Yes,
you get what I'm saying to you? All we have to do is burn some fire on them.
What happened to the prayer warriors?
What
happened to the people who can pray and fast?
You get what I'm saying?
For the wickedness that is coming down upon this nation.
The people are suffering, yeah? The way they are suffering. And this country has been captured, yeah, by the barbarians. yeah, captured, and it's taken to the abyss, and we sit down, docile, yeah, unconcerned,
We
because
don't
we
love.
can find a cup of tea.
We don't love each
Yeah.
other, Mystical. We don't love each other.
Yeah, man.
We don't love each other.
And the institutions that should be crying out, everybody dumb, yeah, and the media, yeah. What of the media?
The
They are being
media.
bought out.
When I listen to
yeah.
Emily Shields trying to
Listen to
hide
me,
her
man.
conscience when she talked to
Don't
Marlon
call some people
Morgan.
name, man.
Come on. Jesus.
Look, you know where I am now, Shaka. You see me now? Your platform, brother, but your platform are our platform.
Yes,
you
sir.
see all them nationwide people and everybody were out. Oh no, nobody reference them on the program, man. Nobody we don't want to hear them.
No, but sometimes we have to tell them, say
position,
them
whether
wicked.
good or bad.
Sometimes we have to call them, name them, know, say them we attack. We don't want them.
Yeah, but no rebroadcast them, brother. Don't rebroadcast them. Everybody, we don't want them rebroadcast them. We don't want to hear nothing about them. Yeah? I can't allow them.
What a set of wicked people. You have people living in a school for almost 6 months, and then you talk about the 8th of May. The 8th of May, almost another month.
Listen me, Shaka. Nothing, it come like Donald Trump. Moving ultimatum from one day to another week and so forth and so on. Nothing will happen. Nothing will happen. It's not within their deliberation and their deliberacy.
Dana Morris Dixon and Desmond McKenzie, you don't need to resign.
Anything.
Step aside. You have
These people are worth nothing, man. Yeah? These people are worth nothing. And I had to come out this evening. Not my regular thing on a Sunday. Yeah.
Then before you go, Mystical, before you go, I wonder if you see the greed on show. I wonder if you see the greedy man come out of the closet. Anybody see the greedy man come out of the closet?
About the aisle?
Yeah, tell her.
About the aisle?
Tell her.
Them did have gone away from it. These people are serpentile, you know, bro.
Tell her.
These people are serpentile, you know.
You hear the greedy man come out? You can't find Hyle and me walkway. You're mad. Hey,
but here you know.
Tell her.
You see people who high up in the echelons of spirituality. You see all them are high there. What am I say there? So you listen to me now.
Hey.
You see our declaration, yeah, is that this aisle, though it is there, will not be there for them. Yo?
They will
so
not
when
touch.
I'm search and search, they're not going to find nothing. Yeah?
Hey.
Not going to find nothing. So we are high the aisle.
Hey.
Yeah? Yeah?
They got to go first. They got to go.
Yeah, man. They hide of a high. We have to hide the aisle.
They will not be there when that oil surface.
Until they go. You get what I'm saying? Because as I said all the while, this country will never rise. Yeah? Until they demise. Never rise.
Blessings, my brother.
Yeah?
Happy to hear from you.
Yeah, man. Good to be here.
One love.
Take care of yourself.
One love. Why do the heathen reign? And the people imagine such vain things. Oh God, oh God, oh God. Talk, Jamaica.
Manners.
Respect, Kanana.
All right. So the brother will do have to say yeah every second him talk.
The brother will do what?
The brother will come off and I will just up on the line and like we say yeah every minute he say something. All right. Me I wonder if me don't know what the word hypocrite mean, or maybe who don't know it.
Maybe you don't know it mean, or maybe you can't see
maybe
it.
me don't know. That could be true.
Maybe you can't see it neither. Maybe you can't see it neither because them say when you're too close to the forest, you don't see the trees, you know.
Oh. So I'm going to ask still, isn't me? He said something what me agree with, right? Oh, now here, he must say what me agree with. I think about, you align on yourself. And I said, but it's a hypocritical man because guess what? Right? He said about the slaves, where we are suffer, right, in Jamaica. Yeah. and then like black people. So don't say black people, because color no go by color. Black and white no go by. Right?
You talk about where
like
you go by.
people.
You don't know what the next man go by.
Yeah, man, me go by a patriarch, which means a father who you black. You see a patriotic, but you know what the word patriotic mean. But you might deal with black and white, right? Fine. So what more ask is, right? A case where we don't accept some white people, or is it a case where we don't understand that these people are the oppressors for real? Because you're supporting somebody that had slaves. Your parents had slaves. You're supporting someone that his parents had slaves. He's benefiting off.
Let me ask you something. Let me ask you something.
Slavery.
Do you have any person with white complexion who have black in them?
If you have any person with white, of course.
Okay.
Not black. Not black.
It's what? It's what? Do you have any good white people? I'm gone. I don't want you to run with this. You have any white people with any good in them?
If you have white people
with any good in them.
All right. You know, you have people that have the appearance of white because no one is white. Right? So let's not be stupid. No one is white.
But we know
people with appearance of white.
We know who we call white.
All right. Yeah, but for the ignorance of your talk, let's try to clarify because it's gonna cause confusion. Right? So of course, people that appears to be white, them father might be a black person, so-called black person, and one is black again.
So-called,
right? Which is why it goes back to who you're exactly, because no one is black and no one is white.
What them do? No one is black and no one is white. What them do? Yeah. What
right.
What skin color do they carry?
They have melanin. They are melanated persons, dark brown, different color, different shades of brown.
Yeah.
Right?
And some have no melanin.
Like we have sense. And some not a melanin because
let me ask you this.
So-called Caucasian.
Let me ask you this. If my father is a murderer, does that make me a murderer?
No, it doesn't. But where's the trick in that?
So let me ask you this now. So you're going to put me in prison for my father crime?
No, it's not with me I go do. That's what I'm trying to show you.
Hold on. All right. So will I be chastised and punished for my father's crime?
No, you will not be chastised for your father's crime.
Okay.
But what will happen is, what me I try to explain to you is, right? You see, what you think is that these people are different for their parents. That's what you're thinking. You're thinking because they come and talk.
I think. You're too bright, you know. You have too much knowledge to know what I am thinking.
All right, so question. What I'm trying to say to you is that because this is what I try to say with the hypocritical thing.
Question where you try to say.
That people,
no, but you say the question when me I try say. You can't ask a question and then where you try say.
The question is, you're trying to is it that you're differentiating the people because they're white in the Middle East as Israelis, different from the ones that are in the Jamaica, in the province of Jamaica, that descend from those people? Is that what you're trying to differentiate?
Let me ask you a question. Who is
you don't answer my question.
No, when me I try, me not try differentiate. No, you guess what me I try do. Me I ask you a question. Out a man who born out a lineage and a man who try force himself into that lineage, which one is more dangerous?
Which one is more dangerous? Well, here's what I will say about that for that question. Here's what I would answer that question. The question is, are you reaping and benefiting and living good after my foreparents' death and destruction? And if so, what are you doing to give me back what my foreparents lost? That's how I look at it.
All right, my brother. Anything else?
Man.
Anything? You're good?
No, sir. Just don't ask me that still. That's one hypocritical still. When you pick some and choose some. That me I say. That's like a hypocrite to me still.
We pick some and choose some. We pick none and we not choose none. We are look upon rights, the action of a man. We are deal with. The action of a man. We are deal with. Yeah? I never see Mark holding a bow to the wall of Israel. I never see Mark holding carry no Israeli ear counsel our children in our schools? Are you aware that there are Israelis in Jamaica counseling our children in our schools? Are you aware of that?
You asked me said question about 3 times, I answer that. More ask a simple question, right? A simple question. The people that are supporting JLP and PNP, the people that has the money behind them, what complexion are they for most part?
Oh, me know some black people. Me don't know a whole heap of them because me don't know a lot of
For
things.
most part.
As you said, me don't know a lot of things, but me know some black people who support.
I
don't
can
know the
say
people.
this.
I don't know the people that support the GLP because I have no Latin part with the GLP.
Because
I know some of the people them will support the PNP and they are of my melanin and maybe have a little more melanin than me. Some of them have a little less melanin.
Oh. So the people them we work for own the Gleaner, where donated to PNP, them not white.
The people them Gleaner donated to the PNP?
That is what I coming from people them responsible.
Hold on. May I ask if the Gleaner made a donation to the PNP in the last election?
Not the Gleaner. Come on, not try to be tricky now.
No,
not the Gleaner.
The people who own the Gleaner. Who own the Gleaner?
Right.
I don't
know. Our people have shares in that. Let's put the car business. Them have shares, right?
But I have some shares in the Gleaner too, you know. I have some shares in the RGR communication
that's
group.
Good. All right, that's good. All right, well, let's not stray from the point that we are trying to make.
Anyway, may I talk to Ralston? Little more. Give thanks. Raleigh, what go on, brother?
Yeah, man, we're there.
Things. Oh, yes, I am doing well. I am doing well here this Sunday evening, reaching out to the people. How the weekend did Raleigh? We did talk Friday evening, but what happened since then?
Well, since then, the talks between Jared Kushner, Steve Witkoff, J.D. Vance, Ansel Mineur, Shabazz Sharif, Mr. Golavid from Iran, and Arachi, the foreign minister, broke down. And Donald says that he's going to block the other side of the Straits of Hormuz and stop any ship that pay the Iranians protection money, and then he's going to destroy the rest of Iran. So tomorrow you will see global oil prices jumping, you'll see stock prices tumbling, you'll see bond yields increasing, and we'll see more acceleration in inflation. That's the big picture, and that's the big picture that the caller does call it. That is what him is supposed to be following, if him really sensible as him saying is.
After 21 hours of talks, end up in North, and the Iranians said that they're not flying back home because they believe that they were going to be under attack.
Yeah, because they don't trust the Americans and the Israelis.
But Netanyahu said that them should have killed them.
Yeah, because Netanyahu have this broader vision that Genesis 14:15 tell him said all of the Middle East is for Israel and Iran is the only threat. That's Netanyahu's agenda, and him dragging Donald into this thing stupidly. And that is why the rest of the world leaders said they are not going to follow Donald or Netanyahu in this thing. So this is the big picture event that is taking place that is damaging the entire global economy. So this little petty thing as to who support you. The entire private sector support both parties.
Both political parties.
Them give to both parties. Yeah, so look a street argument is just
when
rubbish.
When you hear Andrew Wellness come out and say PNP get $1 million from which one? All Inter Cash Plus. Andrew Wellness Jamaica Labour Party maybe got more.
Yeah, man, both of them. We all know.
Plus.
Them to the old stories. We all know all of that. Some don't know where income from with that. Those things are things that are well known by everybody in Jamaica.
A little knowledge is a dangerous thing, do you know, Raleigh?
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
A little knowledge is a dangerous thing. Some people believe that they have knowledge and turning them in a clown. But I'm Nevio upon the line. Let me hear what him have to say. Nevio.
Hello, Colin, how you do?
I am here. Not doing
Raleigh,
good.
How you do, my brother? How you do, Raleigh?
Yeah, we're good. We're good, never. Blessings. Glad to have you.
Boy, Raleigh, me have to call you this evening here, boy. I'm a nervous man.
Yeah, man.
With what's happening in Pakistan over the weekend. with the talk because clearly America went into the talk as a bully. The
Yeah, man. The
Pakistanis
man.
have no confidence in them based on what
Yeah, man.
Pakistan is saying that they were having talk with them 2 times when they attacked them.
Yeah,
There is
man.
no guarantee that they will attack them during the 3rd talk here.
Yeah,
And to
man.
make matters work, Donald Trump has now tweeted that he's going to send warship to Black. No ship can come through. And I call no rally to ask you know what that means for the world if this mentally sick president determined him against the Black.
Lord.
All right. So immediately as the markets open at 8 o'clock tomorrow, you're going to see oil prices are jump. And you're going to see stock prices are fall. And you're going to see bond deals are go up. And you're going to see fertilizer prices are go up. So it's another big damage to the international economy. What we are saying now, let us say the war is now 7 weeks and the government of Jamaica, maybe they were saying, well, give them the benefit of the doubt, say them to do 1 year how the ceasefire talks are going to go. The ceasefire talks are now done and we know the direction. So we expect a statement from the Prime Minister. Him should have give it tonight, or if him not give it tonight, him should have go to Parliament and do it on Tuesday and tell the people how this is affecting the global economy and the Jamaican economy and what the government plans to do, because every government in the world is doing something.
And again to ask you a question as I hang up and listen. With what is happening in the Middle East, it is clear that we in the West here, in the Caribbean and America, so there's no guarantee of getting oil in the near over the future. And it is clear that Jamaica have oil. So I know America going to make sure that they get a company now who going to get the bid for that. My concern, really, we can't put it in the hands of the PNP. We don't want the PNP in government when the time comes for the contract to sign. We all game build the drilling and the ram for the island. So because we don't want like we have
So hold on. So what will be in power? Andrew Wallace and Darrell Vaz, you want to happen like the boss them?
Really?
Eh? And you want a prime minister when statutory filing can't be
Well, I'm calling. I think the question you're asking is why him said that first.
Hold on. Raleigh, I ask you a question. Listen to Raleigh question. Go ahead, Raleigh.
Yeah, so why you say that, Neville? Neville.
You see, Raleigh.
Explain to the people why you come to that conclusion.
With backside, we basically give away for nothing. Basically give away for nothing. I'm in a one with I'll go like the backside.
All right, so stop. Hold on now.
We can finish.
Finish.
Hello?
Finish. Him say finish.
No, I'm confident that the Jamaica Labour Party government in power when the time comes to sign a deal with who will deal with what.
All right. So you want me tell you what me have said about that now? Him gone?
Go ahead, Raleigh. No, him not gone. It look like him a reconnect. But
well, we used to get nothing for our bauxite and alumina until Michael Manley imposed the levy in 1974. That is when we started to get something from our bauxite and alumina. And we are not getting anything from the bauxite and alumina now because the JLP agreed to profit sharing with the bauxite and alumina companies and dump the levy. And you can never, ever track the profits that the bauxite and alumina companies make because what we call how them operate in terms of transfer pricing. So you're very wrong. You're very wrong on that one, Neville. Additionally, the only time that Jamaica was ever locked out of the international capital markets and made the most foolish deal is again when a situation like this came into being. In 2003, George Bush went into Iraq, same thing, damaged Colin Powell, so them have weapons of mass destruction and created the global recession. This administration, of which this prime minister was a senior member who you say have confidence in, So that going to the IMF was neither necessary nor appropriate. Bruce Golding, he was the leader of government business at the time, the current prime minister. Yeah,
Andrew
them never
Wellness.
went. Yeah, them never went to the IMF until in 2009. Them fired Derek Latibodier, the most experienced IMF official at that particular point in time. Them had 3 finance ministers that we used to call 1/3. My friend, the great Don Webber, who is now late, Dwight Nelson, and Audley Shaw. And them took the worst agreement anybody could ever took from the IMF. Took the money, 2.4 billion upfront, never take one test and got us locked out in the international capital markets. We're still trying to repair that damage. So what you're saying makes no sense.
And at them people that you want, run the aisle, nephew. You know, you see, sometimes I like talk to you because when you talk your horse manure, you give us a chance to set the record straight. When you talk your horse manure, it is this administration that took taxpayers' money to buy used car for police where we not get them yet. It is this administration that take $1.4 billion to buy $110 buses that are sold for $1 in the United States.
And the worst thing can ever happen to a country in this time. Hold on, Neville. The worst thing that can happen the worst thing that can happen to a country is to be locked out of the international capital markets where you can't get no money for borrow from nobody. The only administration that did that is the one that you are saying you have confidence in. Joke business.
Mr. Bell. Mr. Bell?
Yes, right. Yes, Neville, I hear you.
I hear you asking for evidence with the argument, but that people in the shelter.
No, hold on, Neville.
No,
Neville.
You know, you me ask no evidence. Desmond McKenzie asks for evidence. Amal and
Colin. Hold on, Neville.
Hold on, Neville. Go ahead, Raleigh.
Stop. One more if you do contradict those facts that came out a while ago.
Tell Raleigh say I tell lie. All I want just tell it while not go.
Yeah. Tell the IMF to them tell lie. Tell World Bank to them tell lie.
Neville.
So.
Neville.
God.
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, we'll contradict that argument.
Identify the worst time in Jamaica's economy. When was the worst? At what stage Jamaica's economy was at its worst? Tell me.
I believe during the latter part of the 70s, going up to the 80s, when we could find food to eat and unemployment and so. As much as I like Michael Manley.
Neville.
Yes.
Cut the foolishness. When you get locked out of the international capital markets and nobody no want to talk to you, and your finance minister for work with him resignation every day. Cut your foolishness. Nonsense you're talking.
But Raleigh, even in the 70s, going to the 80s, when we never have money, when we never have food, don't we have money?
No, and it's not that we never have. It's not that we never have food. The food was political sabotage. Yeah? The debt to GDP.
And friend them, I never your friend at the time. Got the time. The debt to PNP.
The debt to GDP was only 60%, and everybody was talking to us except certain people who sabotage with the food and everything. Never talking nonsense, man. Rubbish.
Go on, Neville, later. Regina, one time we allow callers, you know. What happened to you now?
That's something when you come off on the show. You say if I had sense or I was smart, I would be talking about the Middle East situation. When almost every single time I call the show, that's what I come on the show to speak on. So basically, you're basically telling that I have sense.
Hold on.
Right? So
hold on. You hear me say if you were smart?
Ralston said that. If the caller was smart. Right. If the caller was smart.
Yeah, because you're messing there.
That's
why I'm saying that.
Trying to point you towards.
Hold on.
You
want
to
respond to that.
Yeah, I said to you about that. The arguments that you were proffering a while ago, everybody in the know in Jamaica know that all the business firms contribute to both parties. That's a common knowledge. Simple. So the big item on the agenda now is what is it that we're going to do about the impact of the current global crisis, which is deteriorating on the Jamaican economy. It's now 7 weeks. We haven't heard from the private sector who contribute to both political parties. We haven't heard from the Prime Minister who is running the country. And we haven't heard from the opposition. Nobody is giving any guidance to the people of Jamaica. That's the big event right now.
True. But I have a question to ask you as a financial
guru,
as I say you are.
Mm-hmm.
Don't it that when these private sectors donate their money to politicians, they are doing it for most part for benefits and rewards?
No, but hold on, my youth. You can't tell a man like me that. Me know that. Why think we can't get who are the contractors and who get this and who get that, and why road fixing is such a big disgrace in the country? I'm far more experienced than you in these things. So we know all of those things.
Thank you. No, I'm just asking you. Come on, you know, the reason I say it is a point I try to make. The point I try to make is simply this. Right? The people that are pushing the money into the parties for their gains will always be on top, always getting the contract, always getting the lands, always doing all of that. The whites that are in the country, they are just the same as one in the Middle East.
Let me ask you something.
Let
me ask you something. You believe what old people say? When old people say, he who pays the piper, call the tune. You don't understand what that means?
Yeah, man. So that me I get to me I try to say the people them who are promoting or donating to these parties and getting their benefits, they're gonna be on top while the poor man is going to suffer because he can't buy out no good party.
No.
That's what I've been saying. But
man, I will say that's a known factor on the
agenda.
Yeah, hold on now. That's a known factor on the ground. Here's what is another known factor on the ground. There's a particular party that is more fair and more in the pockets of those people than another party. So when they are in power, those people benefit more from the poor. There's a party that gets money from those people too. But when they are in power, they pursue policies that are more conducive with the upliftment of the poor. That's also a well-known fact.
Right. So your view in towards this scenario that you just highlight is basically the evil them.
Make your last point because you get a go already.
That's what you're saying.
I'm not give more than the next minute.
What was the point?
So basically your acceptance is that let's accept the slave masters that are basically promoting the party that give them the benefit less than the other part. That's what you're saying. So you're still
No, I'm not saying that. You're positing something that is fallacious. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that the reality of Jamaican. You listen? Or you're not listening?
Yeah, man, I listen here.
Yeah, and I'm saying that what you're positing is fallacious. There's a certain reality that governs the world, right? So what we're saying, if you bring it down to the field of economics, one set of people is what we are calling on the neoliberal side. So they tell the private sector people and the people who have money say they can do all that they want to do. The other set of people are saying that we are government and we will agree to facilitate some of the things that you are doing that will allow the maximum benefits to the maximum amount of people. That's the reality. Simple.
The reality is that the one people you're referring to, they control the entire world in the same aspect. And it's the same.
We can go on with this all over and over. This really not make sense.
All right,
this not make sense.
All right, give thanks. We don't normally give people two go rally and second time.
Yeah, man. But waste time, man. Waste time. Yeah.
Excellence is thy name, Oja.
Colin.
Wagwan.
Shaka.
Yes.
You know, I would say something to you. That the young man that just called you earlier is well known. And he has a very intimate relationship with ethanol.
With who?
So don't be perturbed with ethanol.
Who near ethanol?
Colin, follow me argument, the man.
Go on, let me listen.
Ethanol.
Oh.
You have a very close relationship with ethanol.
Yes.
So don't be surprised his behavior right now is because of the climax of their intimacy.
Yeah, man.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
Very close relationship with ethanol.
I read you.
He's well known. He walks around on social media and parade himself. But when ethanol get the better of him, you know, in their close relationship, A
Okay.
very intimate relationship.
Okay.
That's how he behaves.
Okay. Okay.
So you have to understand him.
Okay. All right. Let's
For
get to
those who
serious
know, they know.
business.
Yes. Colin, Raleigh, I am saying,
Yeah, man.
and I have made a statement, and because you are the guru, I have come to see if my statement is accurate. I am postulating that the Jamaica Labour Party is the architect of the sufferation that the Jamaican people will face as a result of this war.
Not
taking
just
place
will,
in the Middle East.
he's facing.
Or is facing, will, and
Yeah, man.
the Jamaican people are facing as a result of the war in the Middle East. Why do I make such a postulate, Raleigh? They have removed the oil edge and have left us vulnerable.
Left us high and dry.
Skyrocketing prices in the oil market. And we have nothing to offset these costs. As a student, my teacher, I am asking you, do you disagree? Do you strongly disagree? Do you agree? Or what is your reflection on my postulate?
Well, I'm strongly agreeing. I was part of the team that put that thing in place, right? At that time, we were expecting, because the oil market is extremely volatile. So what we had was a hedge of $66 and change. Once it passed $66 and change, the insurance would chip in. Favour Williams, Audley Shaw, and Antonis Arbinil said that wasn't necessary. They would use that money to help to fund the 1.5 million tax scam, right? So you're correct. And they're also, what it makes it even worse, they have projected oil prices of $62 for 4 years in the budget. Total nonsense, straight. So you're right.
And in less than a couple of weeks after the budget, oil has gone past $90 a barrel.
Yes, and when they were making the budget, Brent was trading at $70 and West Texas at $68. So that was just stupidity.
So they try to
totally
con the Jamaican
So
people.
Raleigh, even you're
Yeah, man.
saying
Yeah, man.
to us listening, even in the presence of objective evidence, the JLP, the government of today, that never boasts so much about, even in the presence of objective evidence, they were still sitting there in denial and forecasting a budget which was less than what the price of oil was.
Yes.
Yes, and they don't have the humility to come back to the people, like to go to the parliament on Tuesday and say, my fellow Jamaicans, we noticed that the ceasefire talks have broken down and the thing is escalating and prices are jumping. So as a result of that, we'll adjust the budget. Not even that. Yep. So I don't know what those fellas talking about.
And
Colin,
we are
hear
excellent, because we are calling on the government, to
Yeah, man.
recast the budget immediately. Come back to the nation and explain how we're going to navigate the situation. Come with a credible budget. The budget is not credible.
Yep.
So Colin,
Yep.
just before I go, you know what is a pain, Colin? When you can listen to, I won't say educated, but I'm going to say in experienced persons like nephew could come up on this platform and say what he said a while ago. When a minister, and I'm very frightened because you have somebody who said they are going to retire, right? But now that we have the possibility of oil, you hear a man say, if my prime minister has the confidence in me, I will navigate this sensitive process. But Colin,
yes,
I want to ask you, you want the same person who navigated a $1.4 billion oil bus deal to navigate an oil deal for the country?
We're just patiently waiting on the Auditor General to come and tell you what's going on with that $1.4 billion.
But Colin, was there a situation where the same person was navigating, we call it hotel, the rooms?
Rooms on the beach.
Rooms what?
Yeah,
rooms
man.
on the beach.
And what was the loss for the government with that person negotiating the rooms and the beach deal?
What we lose? About 7 million US?
Massive,
Or
massive.
13 million
Massive.
US.
Yeah,
Only
man,
per
massive.
million US we lost.
Yeah, man.
We
All right.
undersold the property.
And this was the same man who negotiated that way below market value. And the same person who actually, the oil well situation, that is the person you want to come and negotiate our oil deal?
Hey,
And you must
excellent.
have heard about the oil well matter.
Yes, man. Excellent.
Yeah,
Rally.
man.
Me, I'll tell you something, though. You see, Prime Minister Andrew Wellness is a very skilled Prime Minister we have, you know. And I tell you why I say that. When we listen to the GLP broadcasters and vloggers and bloggers out there, and the GLP ministers, the way they are misleading the country and giving misinformation. You remember when the Prime Minister come and say, "I declare a war on misinformation"?
He was declaring a war on himself.
No, he might divert the attention from themselves. But they were the ones who are doing the misinformation, because I am now convinced, you know, that the level of misinformation by the Jamaica Labour Party supporters and their ministers, it's a deliberate act. Deliberate. When I hear a man, talk about GLP angle the economy better and GLP do this with the economy, and I'm saying, but these people know that the most money borrowed in this country borrowed by GLP administrations. No other administration not borrow the kind of money where GLP administration borrow. Is that so, right?
Yeah, man. We have the highest debt to GDP ratios on the GLP administrations.
Every time.
But
the evidence is there.
Say before I leave.
Yeah.
When you are a government and you basically, Raleigh, let me ask you a question, because you are more experienced in this area. Are there any laws that prohibits the government or precludes entities who have outstanding tax payment to the government from doing government business with the government?
Yeah, man. That should be so. There are.
So there exists such
those laws are being breached. Yeah, those laws are being breached.
So when a company is delinquent, the government in their taxation, the government should not be doing business with them.
No, because you should be able to get a TCC before you can do business with the government, you know.
Correct. Even with banks and lending agencies. Yeah.
Yeah, man, you must have your tax compliance certificate.
So let me ask you a question, because really I have a situation. We know of radio station which is ranked way down the bottom of the ranking, not in the top 5, but their biggest business partner is basically the government of Jamaica.
Yeah, man.
I am wondering.
That's well known.
Owing the government a whack of money.
Yeah, that's well known.
Justification the government has to continue doing business with these people.
Well, nobody's holding the government accountable. Nobody's holding the government accountable. Simple. So there's no justification.
I can say to you, Raleigh,
hold on.
If he who holds the piper plays the tune,
yeah, man.
And if the government is my biggest supporter, I will sing for my supper.
Of course.
Yeah, man.
And
simple.
Somebody saying no, Colin, you only need TRN. No. If you're getting government contract, you have a TCC, tax compliant certificate.
Yeah, man. If you don't have that, you're not getting it. Most financial institutions ask for that.
You're not supposed
to. If you're a company. Yeah, man. That's correct.
Hey, even if you're putting on an event in a rally, if you make a stage show or a party, and you
know that,
government for sponsor, if you don't have TCC, you cannot get the sponsor.
Yeah, man, because taxes are important. You're not going to get those things if you're not paying the taxes. Yeah, man, simple, man.
And I ask you, you know.
We know that. I sit on credit committees.
I tell you. And
yeah, man, rubbish, man.
Operating.
Sit on credit committees. And if you don't have a TCC, you're not getting any money. Yeah,
no money.
Rubbish.
All right,
yeah,
excellent. Thanks for the call.
All right, Chuck.
876-804-7072. This is Talk Jamaica. We have Ralston with us this evening. And hopefully we're going to be joined by one or two more guests. Madam Producer, bring back that phone as soon as you finish with it, definitely. Raleigh. Oh, I hear him in the background. Forward, Raleigh, forward. 876-804-7072. Good evening. Go ahead, please.
Uncle Ralston, good evening to my fellows.
Blessings.
My question is for Uncle Ralston. With what is happening on the chessboard, the world chessboard right now, even with Hungary, a change of government in Hungary, NATO changes, European nation changes, all that the changes we see, the fallout with the ceasefire, the conditions Iran put on Lebanon not being bombed anymore and restore their money or move the blockage of their finances and all that. Uncle Ralston, if you were the one maker now, what would be your contingency plans?
Raleigh?
Yeah, man, back now.
Yeah. Carla, repeat your question. It sounds like Raleigh didn't hear your question. Repeat.
Never heard it.
Yeah. Okay. Uncle Ralston? Is he hearing me?
Yeah, man, he's hearing you now. Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
With
Not
all
the
changes on the world stage, the geopolitical changes, for example, Hungary has changed government. The NATO has major changes. European Union has made major changes. We see now the ceasefire deal or whatever has followed. Conditions from Iran is that they stop bombing Lebanon and release Lebanon monies that they had blocked. And the Saudis, the Middle East, the Russian imam has called for the Middle East to change, to bring themselves back into their Islamic forum. If you were the Prime Minister of Jamaica, what would be your contingency plans that you would have put in place or start to move towards safeguarding Jamaica economy and its people?
Well, if I were the Prime Minister, I'd have addressed the nation from maybe 2-3 weeks ago. And my thing would be that this is a serious global problem. Jamaica is a small open economy operating within the context of a larger international economy. The Republic of the United States of America, which is a major player in the war, is our major trading partner. And the increase in oil prices is going to drive up inflation. And as a result of that, we'll have to take steps to protect our people. One of the things that we do, even before the IMF managing director told us, is that we would help the most vulnerable groups, because based on the ad valorem tax, we'll be collecting more taxes from fuel than we programmed for. So we're going to use some of this money in order to protect the most vulnerable, the pensioners, those people, the people in the manufacturing sector, all those people, the people in the transportation sector, because price increases from those will spill over to the general population. We are going to accelerate the process of the rehabilitation of almost 1/3 of the economy down west. So we are going to call in the people from the Master Builders and Association. We should have done that a long time ago, but we are going to do that now to get that process underway. We are going to be providing some incentives for persons in renewable energy because our energy bill is going to spike. We are going to provide some assistance to the farmers because we know that fertilizer prices are spiking, and then we are going to have a problem with food security. So those are some of the things that we'll be doing in order to protect the Jamaican economy based on the crisis that is coming. Should have done that a long time ago. He has a chance to do it on Tuesday because the thing is accelerating right now.
Carla?
And Yes, and thank you. And the next part of the question, Uncle Ralston, if you are the Prime Minister and you have all this to do, and you have what you call opposition, where would you find your backative or your people or whatever to back you up or empower you to get this done? Do you, or I should say, do you as the Prime Minister would need any endorsement or any backative, or you will have the power to put these contingency plans in place?
No, you'd have to broaden the narrow and reach out to the opposition, reach out to the private sector, reach out to the trade union movement, reach out to civil society, reach out to academia, so that you have a broader base from which decision must be made. This is not a political issue. The cooperation of all sectors of the society will be needed to deal with this broader crisis.
But they don't want no cooperation, because even with the
We know
bill
that.
for the Naira, the Prime Minister is still in full control.
We know that. We know that. That's the point you're making. But that's the approach that will be needed if you are going to protect the country. The last time we were in a crisis, Peter Phillips created the epoch. He never looked out and to see which party you're from or which agency you're from. It was a broader group involving everybody in Jamaica, because you need that support if you are going to be able to protect the economy. It can't be a partisan thing.
But can this government move otherwise? They know anything else?
Well, that's the problem, and that is why the people of Jamaica will be seriously affected, because it's a partisan approach they are taking to all the problems, from Melissa come right down to the global crisis. That's why we are in the position that we are in right now.
Colin, you hear the 6 o'clock news. John Levy is calling on the government to address the nation about the crisis in the Middle East. Then them late them a follow back away a long time. Ralston and I say that the government must speak now till we all now start call for the opposition, because we are saying if the government not talk, Raleigh saying the opposition must speak. Somebody need to speak to the nation.
Yeah, that came out of my program with John Levy at 12:30 today.
Oh, is your program in Duipan today?
Yeah, man. Yep. So if the Prime Minister not
this is the
opposition have to seize the opportunity to speak.
This is my last input tonight, and then go back to class.
Yeah.
Who is Jamaica
and
system?
Hold on. And before you go back to class, we're still expecting to have Damian Crawford this evening. We just got we've been reaching out, and we still expect to have him this evening. So those of you who've been looking for him, we still expect to have him. Continue, caller.
I'm gonna be straight to the point, specific. Is the Governor General, or is there any law in Jamaica that can call a non-confidence government?
No. That would have to happen at the Parliament, by the parliamentarians. Governor General can't do nothing to that.
So if the Parliament called for non-confidence, they would have to get
a vote of no confidence. The opposition alone can't move nobody. You'd have to get government ministers to vote with the opposition.
No, but if they do have it calling, my question is is the Governor General have anything to do with that?
I'll allow Raleigh to answer. Raleigh? We're not hearing Raleigh, but I can tell you no. The Governor General can't move no confidence. That's not
where I'm at, you see, as a Commonwealth country, this is why I asked Colin, is because when Parliament, when they vote and they get a no confidence vote in the Parliament, the Governor General have to endorse it as per se, or
if the vote carries, then
yes,
they go to the Governor General, because like I'll explain to you, the Prime Minister of Jamaica was not voted for by the people of Jamaica. You know, it is parliamentarians that choose the Prime Minister. He who holds the majority of support in the Parliament becomes Prime Minister. So if tomorrow morning the Labour Rights them want to overthrow Andrew Holness, they can. So the person who have that support would write to the Governor General and say him have the majority of the support in the Parliament. They move the no confidence vote and them vote, and once the majority vote for one person, I think there's a clause though that the Prime Minister can say wait and maybe call an election, dissolve Parliament within 3 days and call an election. But
prorogue it. As then would I use the word prorogue Parliament.
And call an election, I think within 3 days they have to do that though. But the parliamentarians can overturn who the Prime Minister is. Not the Governor General.
All right.
The Governor General.
All right.
I'm
going back to class then, Colin, and go listen for Damian Crawford. I want to hear what he said, because I had to write something on Anna Belize or the other Bella Rose or something today. What he was saying. He's right on par.
Yeah,
all right, Colin.
He put out
thank
a release,
you.
and we want to talk to him about it. Rally,
thank you. I'll be on there listening.
Yeah, man. Right.
Blessings. Rally's back with us. 1-876-804-7072. The program is a bit different this evening because we had a problem Monday evening and we didn't have a show yesterday morning. So that's why we're basically cramming this show this evening. Marsha, go ahead.
Evening.
Yes.
Talking about no confidence. If the PNP come up with a no confidence, yeah, are you saying to me we can find somebody over the JLP who really serious about Jamaica?
You're mad, man. Nobody know over the man is a cult. You're crazy.
So only 5 will look.
Then hold on. You have all journalists who you'd call reputable journalists who are willing to put their credibility on the line to defend an incompetent and uncaring government, brother. You know, realize said the people circle the wagon. You know, realize that?
It's bad then. It's bad then. But I want to make something very simple to your listener. Ralston is still there?
Yes.
Yeah, man.
Very simple. Me can't make it no easier. How much the budget, Crawford?
1.4 trillion, Rally.
No.
Oil price matter.
What the craft the budget with the oil?
$62 a barrel.
Average annual rate $62. Yeah.
How much a barrel for oil today?
Brent was trading at $96 on Friday and WTI at 96 and change too. So tomorrow you're going to see over $100 based on what the government said today.
With the next end of the Strait of what place name?
Armoose.
If Trump ever block the next side, can you see that we don't have a budget?
Oh, yeah, man. Trump block the next side.
No, but to see that need to do something now, because they start at 62 and the oil now reach 90 something. You see, we don't have a budget. We are in trouble.
But Marshy, the budget documents was tabled when in February, Rally.
Yeah, man.
And the fiscal commissioner said that it's not credible. And the man them still got table it.
Yeah, man. And listen.
God. You know, me just want to get a little joke. In the midst of serious thing. Mr. Desmond Mackenzie will run a film out and talk about Malava and all of them something there. You know, me just think to myself, so suppose we have a
Marshy gone. Marshy. I'm still there, man. But I not hear him. Marshy. Suppose we have a...
You hear me now?
Yes.
Yes, what I'm saying, suppose them have reading across Jamaica and all the parliamentarians supposed to read. What make you start laugh so quick?
We do have read across Jamaica Day. There is a read across Jamaica Day.
No. So who you think myself me would like to hear a read to the children? Are you not say so?
How you want to hear a read to the children?
Well, the honorable Desmond Mackenzie, I would like to hear him read to the children.
All right, Marshy, thank you.
The honorable Desmond Mackenzie.
I'm going to invite my Minister of Education to the fore.
Yeah.
Mr. Crawford, good evening.
No.
Mr. Crawford. We're not hearing Damian. We have him on the line, but we're not hearing him.
Me know?
Yes, Mr. Crawford. Good evening, sir.
How you do? How you do? How you do?
I am doing well. Ralston Hyman is on the line with me, because we're talking economics as well.
Seeing. How you do, Rasta?
Yeah, man. Blessed, man. We're there. Yeah, man.
Love.
Damian, you put out a press release on this whole issue with shelteries, Jamaican citizens affected by Hurricane Melissa. Almost 6 months after the hurricane are still living in our schools. Speak to us about what you put out.
Well, I felt pressed and an urgent need to enter on the reference because I think the government has made it a kind of a habit of just diversion tactics and not dealing with the issues at hand. As you know, the JTA had indicated before that they were having issues with the schools remaining as a shelter. And then more recently, the JTA went further to indicate some of the experiences that the children were having. Instead of adequately addressing the issue and cauterizing the negative, the government decided to turn the conversation on whether or not the JTA president had reported the issue to the police. Sufficing to say, given the implication or the indication that they were not informed and that the person informed had a duty of care to the children. Later, we heard that the JTA president had informed the minister, and the argument moved from they had a right to report to if they had an official report to the minister. No, the law doesn't speak to an official report. If you hear that a child is being abused, for example, you don't have to get a written letter stamped and certified by a JP for it to be within your right and duty to make a move on that. But notwithstanding, the conversation moved away from the duty of care that the ministry had and the commitment that the government made in December that the shelters would no longer be established at school, and the failures of the government's recovery processes, including pre-planning and post-planning, to whether or not it was the duty of the JTA president to report, and also if it was a truthful report that the students saw lewd and sexual acts within the space. And so I wanted to return the conversation to the simple fact that they have a preventative duty. There's an act that they call the Occupiers Liability Act that you have a duty of care to prevent harm. And that duty of care to prevent harm was not being underlined by having adults unvetted in shelters, in school, simultaneously while school was happening.
So, Damian, tell us what are the alternatives you are proposing before we go to whether this is true or whether, because my argument is that once this is possible, it is critical.
That is it. That it is a preventative measure. So it is a risk that you analyze and you act upon the risk. It is not the outcome, because having witnessed lewd acts or acts of violence or undue influence is the lowest barrier. There's another barrier that they can be victims of abuse or victims of violence. That is why schools have long had the fencing importance, the gates, the persons manning the gates. That is why the government also moved the JTC bill for teachers to be vetted every year with a police record, because they wanted to ensure that exposure to adults were of adults of good repute and likely to take care of the students' well-being. Additionally, we have seen throughout the last few years where students have witnessed violence perpetrated against adults within the school space, and there was no basis upon which one could guarantee that that could not happen. Also, schools not designed for shelters would necessitate sharing of facilities like bathrooms, etc. And that is a health risk and hygiene risk as well to the students. So generally, drug use, all of those realities. Even we don't extend to drugs, but even cigarette smoking, we have rules about cigarette
Internet
advertisement,
again, man.
cigarette advertisement in proximity to school, where students be observing adults consuming and acting in that way, alcohol and other things. So the risk is sufficient. Now you ask what were the recommendations. Let us first remind the people that it is 81 persons remaining in a shelter. And that shows the general incompetence of the government, that they are incapable to satisfactorily handle 81. Simply less than 100 people are currently in need of shelter in this particular way. And the government has proven incompetent to handle 81. And so the average number among the 8 schools would be about 10. So the maximum number would likely be within the range of 20. And the government can't satisfactorily treat that. What are some of the ways that they could treat that? One, we have some government buildings. Many are community centers. Those could be and should have been immediately reintroduced as post-hurricane shelter. So the school is the during hurricane shelter, but then you have to have a post-hurricane shelter for which the community centers could have been utilized as post-hurricane centers. Within these spaces, football fields, large police stations, you could have had 10 cities. And when we say 10 cities, we're looking at 10 tents. Now we're not going to have 1,000 tents because we have less than
Right.
100 people. So we could have 10 cities. Equally, they could have had rent subsidies. So they could have allowed for private housing, private shelter by paying the rent for these people for a short period of time until they transition to the new processes, whether they're getting the modular houses or whatever. So therefore, the fact that they cannot satisfactorily deal with 100 really underlines their incompetence.
Damian, you believe that this is deliberate or the government just don't care? Because my view is that the only reason that the government could give me to say that these people had to be in school now is if the government go and tell me, say, we don't have the money, so we can't find nowhere to put them.
Well, you see, you only have 24 hours as a human being, and the reality of the situation is that if you take 24 hours to just build a narrative, you're not gonna have much time left to build a nation. And the government have been focused mainly on building the narrative. So what they put their full effort in is selling a story that they have been so great and they have been so perfect. I think the minister once said that international people have invited her to speak on the issue because in no time they were able to open all schools and so in focusing on that narrative, no real time has been invested in correcting the circumstances. And so, for example, you say, oh, all schools are open. But they really don't tell you that most of them are open to 1/5 of the students, that some of them, meaning maybe only grade 11, some of them only grade 10 and 11, or some of them have rotation once per week. Some of them, they have to leave school by 12. So no real education is happening. And others are within tents that are not conducive to create an environment for learning. Just recently, we see where the tent was being flooded when rainfall because it was not no base, no investment was made to make a base so that the tent is just
Would
out
be
in the
off the
open in the
mud.
field. Exactly. And so all of these things were just to sell a narrative, no real work. So where St. Elizabeth, the police was reporting over 400 students did not return to school. And the response was as simplistic as, oh, we're looking for them. But there's no increase in the path to lunch, etc. Now, if there is a situation that people have lost everything, both from a business and earning standpoint and from a living and accommodation standpoint, then there's going to be an increase in number of dependents, people in need of government assistance. How then can the PATH program not be increased for the lunches? How then can a breakfast program not be implemented? So, these are things that would have made the thing sensible, but they were not interested, in my opinion, in making the thing functional and sensible. They
As
were interested in selling a story.
as a legislature, Mr. Crawford, does the government have a responsibility to find place for these people to stay?
Yes, the government have that responsibility and that duty. RPM speaks to that. And international standards speaks to that. And they have a duty to make spaces that are more conducive than what the schools offer. As I said, the school within RPM framework is an emergency shelter. And that is normally within 5 days of the negative activity, at maximum a month, 30 days. So between 5 and 30 days, the emergency space should transition away from being that emergency space, especially when there is shared usage, meaning other uses for the space. Now, the school is the ultimate example of other usage for the space. We are going into 6 months that this is the case. And as I said, the government had guaranteed that the January would not have arrived with these people, that shelter being utilized. So nobody's suggesting that, move from the shelter because, no, don't provide a shelter. Because the reality is not binary, it's not the school or no shelter. As I've indicated, they can do the rent subsidy and private entities could then provide shelter. So persons could pay the rent, they'll pay the rent for 3 months of a person, etc. They can do the community centers, for which there's a multiplicity of community centers throughout the country. They can do the 10 cities, but because they were not focused on the adequate reintegration, because it has been proven that education is not a priority of this government.
You really believe that, Damian, that education is not a priority of the Andrew Holness-led administration, the best government Jamaica has ever seen?
Well, I won't repeat a lie, so I won't say what you just said. But
but that's what they say.
Well, if you look at the numbers, 2015, 5 subjects including math and English, that was 28%. It's now 19%. 2015, literacy at grade 4 was 84%. It's now 69%. So the numbers are proving themselves. Now, additionally, you will see where big early childhood institutions, the government only own 20% of early childhood institutions. So the vast majority of early childhood institutions are public owned. And even though they are public owned, they cannot meet the satisfaction of being certified. Less than 20% of our institutions are certified. The teachers have been treated in a way that they believe migration is in some cases their only option. So I have not seen any evidence, neither from the result nor the implementation. I'll give you an example of where the government suggests that they are giving 5,000 iPads or whatever you call it, laptops to schools. We have 1,000 schools. That's 5 per school.
Serious thing.
Yes, so then just make a big number of 5,000 because a person only perceive in his personal experience, say, oh, my people must get 1 out of 5,000. There's 1,000 schools.
You realize Film school have 300 or 400 pitney and only 5
exactly,
school again.
Right. So because we don't really carry it to everybody, we just say, oh, we have to get 1 out of 5,000. So it's 5 per school. Then they say, oh, every school is going to have a smart board. All right. So we can look at the average school. The average school have four groups in a grade, 6th grade. That's 24 grades. So if every school get 1 smart board, then 23 class don't have a smart board. So you're going to have a rotating systems within the smart board. So that means that every child can get half hour off the smart board. Every class get half hour or hour off the smart board. It's ridiculous. So when you look at the logics of it, you can recognize how ridiculous it is. And I believe that they have proven that it is not their priority.
Raleigh, you have any question for Damian?
No, but I agree with what he's saying. It's impeccable. And the time we move more to more empirical analysis with data and stop using the PR. If you look at data, it's real that they don't have any interest in those things. And they contradict themselves because they talk about productivity. You can't have productivity without higher levels of education and all of that. That is why even if you take the bogus number of 3.3% unemployment, what you're seeing is diminishing marginal productivity. You have more people working, but GDP is growing slower and slower. We have the lowest GDP growth rate in the region apart from Haiti, and that is what Standard & Poor's told them. They are not interested in macroeconomic development. They are interested in arithmetic. trying to please the ratings agencies. And the same ratings agencies are saying, although you have a particular rating, your rate of growth is not conducive with the countries that are in your rating class because your GDP is one of the slowest growing in the region and your per capita GDP is one of the lowest in the region. They're not interested in those things. He's correct.
Yeah,
Damian,
well, yeah, man.
there's
As Sir Hyman have indicated, if we should use data, 90% of the arguments that the government put forward dies. So
Yeah,
they
man.
they reduce the value of data and just come out and say, um, it's the best in the world. It's a real champion kind of
Yeah.
way that they have functioned. That them
yes.
just basically come and claim everything to be first ever or best ever. And so they say it's the most money ever spent on roads, not considering the fact that that most money ever spent on road can do way less kilometers than before inflation created it, or that they have
Correct.
overpaid for the Chinese to do the road. And so
Damian,
therefore,
Yeah, man.
hold on, Damian.
yes.
Here is a piece of road that you know about that I was shocked out of my wits. That piece of road from the roundabout in Anata Bay to Broadgate, over $1 billion was spent on it. You realize that them dig it up?
Yes, yes. No,
What can go,
well,
sir?
I can tell you that recently I got information that $84 million was to do a road in my constituency, and that they had to review the budget and change it from 1.5 kilometer to 1 kilometer. So they're going to tell me that is for 1 kilometer road is 84 million per kilometer, when the average cost was 35 to 40 kilometers before they thought that the Chinese was the ultimate implementing agency. So when you look at numbers, they came to
Yeah,
Parliament.
man.
They said they were going to do $40 billion worth of road, and it's going to do 600 road. And when you look at it, 600 road is less than 10% of our roads. And then the next thing you know is no longer 600 road, is 400 road. And the next thing you know is that the 400 road can't get the implementation of all the things that it needed. So, we're going to get by 100 bus, and the 100 bus have 4,800 seats, yet somehow it will carry 400,000 children. How would
Yeah, man.
4,800 seats carry 400
Yeah, man.
children?
Pure
So
madness.
yeah. So when you
PR
look
As I
at
say,
garbage.
if you
Yeah,
look at
man.
the data,
right,
90% of them argument get diminished.
right. So after they had
Yeah, man.
promised that they're going to move 300,000 children, the numbers come out that so far they moved 7,000 children, and then they're going to claim that is because the children want music in the bus. Now the principal had to come out to say no, the buses aren't going where the children exist because we don't have zoning in Jamaica. You see, what them do is watch a
Yeah.
TV show of the United States and America have zoning, so the bus just run in one area from that particular community to the school. We don't have zoning. KC, I have about 90 different community coming from all over Jamaica. So the
Yes.
bus is
Correct.
now not going into the spaces. Therefore, so for example, the bus down in your side run from Buff Bay going down into Port Antonio and then go down into Ferry. But it don't turn off into none of the hills.
Now I
So
got
how do you
Shrewsbury.
exactly? So
Now I
what
got Mount
happens is
Pleasant.
so they will jump and say the first to do a bus system so large. First of all, it's not the first school bus system, but it's the most ridiculous one. And we have seen evidence of that
Yeah,
when
man.
we start to recalibrate, say, oh, we're going to do it different now, and we're going to do all of us was telling them that. So once real objective measures are put in place, you will recognize immediately that the JP's utterances are flawed and foolish.
Let me
Yeah,
ask you
man.
though,
Total
Damian.
failure.
Desmond McKenzie said Mark Malava must apologize. He's trying to undermine the people in the shelter. What would you say to that?
Well, if there should be any apology, because the minister that indicated that the shelters will be vacated by the end of December 2025 was Desmond McKenzie. So
Yes.
the only real failure was between Desmond McKenzie's utterance and Desmond McKenzie's delivery. And as I've said, they have focused on this divergence, for which we shouldn't buy into it because he's trying to create a different conversation around this thing. Now, as I've said, if there's unvetted adults within a space where children exist, and once the children are moving from the age of 5 to the age of 17, are
Yes.
they risk of physical harm, risk of sexual molestation, risk of undue influence, risk of observation of lewd and crude activity, risk of observation of drug consumption and alcohol consumption, risk of observation of gambling, risk of being invited to participate in any of those negatives? The simple answer to that is yes. Are there hygiene risks existing by sharing bathrooms with adults who have not been vetted? Yes. So therefore, the teachers, the principals, the JTA have a right, as should all adults, to be concerned about that situation. It flies in the face of all the other mandates that the government have made for schools. For example, adults should not be on the compound unless they are persons that are within permit to collect a child, etc. Adults should not pass certain spaces, so they shouldn't be where the classrooms are. Now, if you have to vet a teacher to teach in a classroom, how could you not have to vet an adult to sleep in one? It don't make sense. And
to
so
live in one, not just sleep, live.
to live in one. It just so I don't delay myself with this change of conversation that they try to facilitate at each moment. Because the end of the day, I mean, I as a tough time calling upon the people on the authorities to investigate the death of a baby. If the baby is dying because of systems, the system is his duty. He's not dying because of maliciousness or dying because of failed individual practices. It is systems of under serviced hospitals, partially because they have sent home the Cubans. It is a system of tired doctors. It is a system of not having the ventilators. So those systems. So when you want to change the conversation about, oh, we want an investigation, the investigation should be the government's failures or incompetence. And so they want to change that conversation to these things. I don't buy into that change of conversation. The government have a duty, and my duty is to ensure that the government execute that duty and don't abuse their power. So I'm not gonna really go into oh should Malava this and the shelter reef. The subject of the sentence is not the shelter reef and is not the JTA president. The subject of the sentence is the government and the government's incompetence, which they want to mask by making other things become a conversation.
What is the role of the ministry and minister of education in all of this, Mr. Crawford?
Well, the Minister of Education have a fundamental role, especially in defense of her duty. And that is one of the things that the British parliamentary system kind of envisioned, that there would have been some level of equilibrium because each minister would be functioning in the best interest of his unit. And then when all of that come together, an equilibrium is found. But because they have found it to be conducive to make the minister also the minister of information and the greatest defender of the government's action, then it means that the minister then now prioritizing that duty, no longer execute to the publics that are within her ministry, which is the Ministry of Education. So she's going to war with the JTA, which are the teachers, which don't make sense for a minister to do. She's accusing them of all kind of negative, facilitating persons to say, oh, the principal is a principal of one of the failing schools. Of our 144 schools, only 37 is above 50%. So therefore, the vast majority of our schools are failing schools.
How many schools?
Only 37 are above 50% chance of getting 5 subjects, including
out of how many?
Out of 144. 144 secondary schools.
Oh, 144 high schools.
Right, yeah.
And
so
only 35% of that is getting 5 subjects, including maths and English in one.
Right. So they're saying, oh, the JTA president is an incompetent individual because his school is failing. But if me come back to tell us that 18% get 5 subjects, including maths and English, then isn't the minister failing?
Correct.
So they don't want numbers. I mean, the minister came out.
Yeah, they don't need a number. Right.
Yeah. They say, oh, Jamaica is in the right track for mathematics because last year we got this percent and this year we got this percent. And when you look at it, we only got 9 more passes.
9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Yeah. When 21,000 fail, we get 9 passes more. And they say that is moving in the right direction. And when you look at it, it's the least number of children sent up because what they started to do is to cauterize the number of people entered, so as to try and make the data shift.
You sit in the parliament as the shadow minister for education. Mm-hmm. What is your role and what can we expect from you going forward until, because we hear a date of May 8, and I am saying, and in your press release you also say that is too long. Speak to us about
it. As I said, let us be reminded of the numbers. It's less than 100 adults. Government can with 2 days find reason like 20 to 100 adults. Let's also look at the numbers. It's impacting 4,000 people. So therefore, you have made a decision that creates a risk of 4,000 children, so as to be okay with 100 adults that have an alternative, that can be given an alternative, right? So, and they had indicated that they would have done these alternatives. This hurricane was in October.
October of last year.
Right?
Yeah.
So when you look at where we are 6 months in, where we just start to give out roof, um, shelter, when they said that the number of persons impacted is 10,000 something, at the highest level of impact, but the number of money allocated for the highest level of impact is less than 4,000, which means that they never ever plan to help 6,000. Then they indicate that a full house damage, full house mash up, you get 500,000. That now everybody will be happy for the 500,000, but
But
it's
it can't help.
immaterial. It can't do what is necessary. It can't help the person to the point that the person can recover. So therefore, the celebratory impact of, yeah, yes, we have a here and 250,000, and then stupidly everybody must go to one place, and then they make some of them friend gain 5% because that is the fee, to gain it, and it just start to get more and more crazy. The reality of the situation is that my duty, unfortunate, and that is why we fight so hard for victory in an election, because
Yeah.
without the power of the pen, you only become a lobbyist, right? To carry attention and to pressure action, because you don't have the opportunity to act. We were indicating to them from the time of the hurricane, if we don't get these children back into school within 8 weeks, that is what research have indicated, they're less likely to return, especially if they were failing, right? Now we have the police in St. Elizabeth saying in St. Elizabeth alone, 400 children are not going back to school. Now, when
400.
400, St. Elizabeth alone, St.
Yeah.
Elizabeth alone,
One parish.
the minister indicated that the absenteeism rate in the most affected areas is 48%. Chronic absenteeism is 10%, right?
So now we're going to have less unemployment because a lot of people now have the skills and they're going to go work for $17,000 a week.
Well, look at the fiscal policy paper that they have published, that over 670,000 Jamaicans are not seeking a job. They're not in that, they're not counted in unemployed because they give up on seeking a job. So therefore, if it is that these people are not seeking a job, they're not counted as unemployed. They've also sought to fudge the numbers by running out with a hard program, or doing all manner of little small things to then not count some people as being unemployed because they're engaged. So when you check it out, for example, they will come with a program. Oh, we have a lift program, and the lift program should help the youths from 21 to 29, and it's going to be the most transformative thing. Every constituency get five. Every constituency get five.
5.
So if you look at that and see, so we have 63 constituencies. You don't even reach 500 people, right?
But
Every
hold on,
year.
Damian. Hold on. Raleigh. Oh, we lost Ralston. Because I wanted to ask Ralston, if we are failing at education the way we are failing, where our production is going to come from?
It can't come from nowhere because the people have a lot the competence to be productive in the
That's the
spaces
argument.
that they're being demanded. So what you have is a youth where have the natural ability given by God to be a doctor, but him a drive taxi, or being an engineer, but him a farm ground. Right now, the point I'm making is that if you see a tractor on the road or run taxi, you have a laugh and say, "What kind of madman this?" Because the tractor is better positioned to go and work a field, right? And it
Yes.
can make more resources. What if we take all the beaches and we build no hotel, we plant pumpkin on the beaches? And man would say, what kind of mad country is this? Because the beach could have make way more money by facilitating tourism than planting pumpkin. So if it is that we have human resources capable for much greater than our system is creating, we should be concerned about the inefficiency of that system. And we are not sufficiently concerned. So the level of productivity, because remember now, is land labor capital, right? It is human resource,
Yes.
natural resource, and capital resource. Without the input of the human resource, the others are underutilized.
Let me ask Raleigh the question. Raleigh, with all the numbers Damian just put forward, the failing in education, one of the things we talk a lot about on this program is productivity and the fact that our economy has not been able to grow because of lack of production. Where are we going to get people to fill the workforce if our children are failing and our education system are failing our children the way Mr. Crawford just spoke about?
We're going to have a very significant problem, and that is why we are saying that investments in education, R&D, new technologies, proper transportation, proper infrastructure, those are the things that are needed to improve productivity. And that is why we say when we drill below the data, when you hear about this 3.3% unemployment, what we're getting is diminishing marginal productivity. The more people you have in the labor force, the less output you get per man. And that is why our per capita GDP is only 7,700. And that is why we have one of the slowest growing economy in the entire Latin American and Caribbean region. It's all about your human resources and technology. Yeah.
Mr. Crawford, somebody in the chat room is saying that why we don't hear your press this more in the parliament as it relates to getting the people out of these shelter.
Well, the parliament have certain rules, and so within those rules, for example, you'd have to respond to a government statement. The government now make a statement on it. The Minister of Education also is not within the parliament, so most times she wouldn't be present to make a government statement. So what
She's
we'd
in
have
the
to
lower
do is to
house.
raise a question. Yeah, she's in the lower house. So then now you'd have to then now put on
The
the
upper
order
house, sorry.
paper.
She's in the upper house, not the
Upper
lower
In the
house.
Senate.
Yes.
Right. So then you'd have to put on the order paper, which take a certain amount of time, a question to the minister. You know, so the systems that exist don't facilitate us jump up and say, oh, what about this? And that is why press releases, press conferences, press statements have been used more than, you know, the parliament at times. And then don't forget that the prime minister's wife takes the role of chief protector. And then also seeks to
What's the role of the prime minister's wife?
Chief protector.
Chief protector of the Labour Party.
Yeah. So therefore, you know, everything is standing orders and all manner of evil. 90% of the time it's not even true when you check the standing orders, but then get away with bullying you on it.
Anything you want to add finally, Mr. Crawford, before we let you go?
Well, I just want the public to remember that they too have a duty, and maybe because the election just finished, a lot of people have lost the fervor to fight, and a country can't run if we don't have the fervor to fight. My father told me, said the Indian rain dance work because they never stop dancing to the rain, and that is what we have to do. We have to keep on fighting for the country that we are likely to be comfortable with. And what I see here, I am uncomfortable generally with what the JP is delivering. And even if them have 50 million more years before the next election, I must fight every day for the country that I'm comfortable with. Because other than that, it will be way further away when I get the access to power and might be incompetent, incapable to carry it forward sufficiently if we allow it to go into the negatives that they're trying to put us in.
But what you said to people who are saying that these people who are living in the shelter, they must find somewhere, go and find them way out by themselves?
A lot of people, well, most of them are JLP revisionists and also selfish because that is the JLP's mandate. The JLP's opinion of the world is me, my, or nothing. But they should always remember that there is a probability that all men can fall in the same circumstances. And so what they have escaped by the grace of God should never lead them to be insensitive to what others could not have escaped by the unfortunate realities of this disaster. So we have seen disasters across the world, and with those disasters, the government come in because the government have a duty of care to the people, especially when there are shocks that could not have been satisfactorily prepared for. There are elderlies within this shelter and within any group of the society, elderlies that have helped to create the Jamaica that we now benefit from, whether they were major practitioners or minor practitioners. When we look at, Paul Bogle would have meant nothing if he never have a crowd behind him walking. And so, therefore, if he walk by himself and kick down Paul Bogle, and there'd have been no more on there. And the same thing with Sam Sharp. All of the things that we celebrate individuals for took other individuals' contribution, many of whom have never been satisfactorily rewarded or recognized. and they are within the age groups that we should always seek to remember that they contributed to the society that we are now enjoying. And so we have children who don't have their autonomy over their own lives. And so therefore, why would we punish a child for the failings of another individual? Isn't that the greatest injustice, to punish one individual for actions that he has no control over? So should we then say the child should also go and make a facility if the parent don't have the competence or capability to do so? So nowhere in the world have that mentality been accepted. And they, as I said, the JLPs, revisionists and apologists, they are in their own ideological space, a selfish perception of the world. It's me, my, or nothing. That is why they say they don't mind if the police kill young people. That is why
Oh
they say they
God.
don't mind if children are starving. That is why they say they don't mind if the school fee can't run the school, because at the end of the day, they seek to escape it individually, right? And so when the PEP exam come out, those people don't fight for a better school, they fight for a transfer, because they're about an individualistic mentality. So the
You,
only thing I can say with those people is I disagree with their opinion of the world, their opinion of people, and with their current opinion on the situation.
you said that if Paul Bogle never have a group of people behind him, there would be no Paul Bogle and there would be no Marant Bay Rebellion. Somebody in the chat room is saying if you think that the PNP should lead and take it to the streets.
I think that time is coming. For this particular issue, they say May. And the May don't even make sense because May is basically the last month of school. But
I never pick up. Hold on. Here's the last month.
yeah, after that, by the 12th, by the time the May come, you have exams, and then by the 12th of June, school done. So, I mean, it's just some jokers. Um, but as I said, they just don't, anytime you put what them say to the test of truth, it fails. Anytime. But, but the PNP have a duty that we must execute in any means necessary. And that
Yes.
duty is to consistently fight for the country that the people who have placed their confidence in us believe in. And
Yes.
if it means we have to take the street, then that is it. If it means we have to dominate the parliament, then that is it. And if it means that we have to force the conscience of the society to move towards a direction that will move the government, then that is it, whatever means necessary.
MP Damian Crawford, thank you for the time this evening, my brother. Keep
Love
on
and
doing
honor,
what you're
man.
doing.
Fighting. Respect.
Yes, sir.
Only
One love.
respect.
Yeah, man. Blessings. Yeah, man.
Damian Crawford. Raleigh. Raleigh.
Yeah, man.
Raleigh.
Yeah, man. You hearing me?
Yes,
I'm
sir.
hearing you.
Yes. With those kind of figures, Raleigh, where can we go as a nation? The man said education
That's the
is
point you're making.
constantly failing since the GLP tech government. The numbers are
But
going
we
in
see
the
it with the
wrong
thing
direction.
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying to you. Just correlate the 3% unemployment rate, 3.3% unemployment rate with the growth in GDP and the growth in per capita GDP. We're going in the wrong direction.
Wrong
And it's
direction.
because of the lack of education and training. That is why we
Hold on,
can't
caller.
compete.
And I have a caller
Lack of
from
education
England.
and
There's a caller from England who always call this program, and the man always said GLP no have no appetite for education. No appetite for education. We have a caller on the line. Go ahead, caller.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Mr. Royston. You
Good
know,
evening.
I wanted was to ask Mr. Damian this question, being as also because the government does not want to have the PNP participate in any project or anything when it come on to the Melissa situation and the people getting leverage and so on to get themselves back together to build and all of that. You know, I wanted was to ask him, the international bodies who have donated the money, the funds, if they could reach out to them to let them know what is going on with the Melissa Fund, in that the government looks like it wants to utilize the money in other projects instead of giving the people the money so as to maximize, you know, the probability of moving up again and, you know, laying themselves back together. Now, the organizations, are they aware? I'm just saying it. I'm just asking the question. You don't know. Are they aware of what Andrew Holness is doing with the people? Because right now, the people are at a disadvantage. You know, it's so hard to get their lives back together. And the money that he's offering right now, that is just a drop in the bucket when he really has the funds. Why is he keeping it back? So I was wondering if they could reach out to them and let them know so that, you know, they can verify the on-ground accountability of the funds and so on, that the people, you know, they should be the priority. And it is not so right now when it comes to what Andrew Holness is doing. You know, there must be more accountability and efficiency, you know, with the funds and also give the money to the people because it comes specifically for them, not to go into any other projects into Jamaica. And that seems like the reason he's holding back the money. So I wanted was to ask him, but as I say, he went off. You know, you think so, Colin, that they could reach out to these organizations?
Possibly. Rally get drop off
and
again.
have their input in it?
Possibly, but let me hold on for my caller because hold on. Did I lose him? Look like I lost him. Hold on. Look like I lost. Rally? Rally, you still there? Hold on. Look like I lost. Hold on for me. All right, hold on. Stay upon it. Come have to connect it to our next phone. Hold on for me. Hold on. Let's do this again. All right. So here we go. We have President of the Jamaica Teachers Association on the line, Mark Malava. Mr. Malava, good evening. President?
Hello?
Yeah, man, you hearing me?
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Hearing you.
How are you doing? Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, man, we call this show Talk Jamaica. And, wow. This look like this not staying up. We lose him again. We lost him again. Hold on. Yeah, man. No, man. That's no, it doesn't show. Hold on for me. No. All right, hold on. Let me do it on the phone, yeah, because I don't know why that phone keep dropping off. Hold on. Let's see if this one holds up better. Because I don't know why I keep losing that. Hold on for me, listeners. I'm coming right back to you, listeners. Coming back to you. Just trying to get this call hooked up. Trying to get this call hooked up. Hold on. Not connected. Da-da-dee. Hold on. Let's do it again. All right. So we have the president of the JT on the phone. Sir Mark Malava, good evening to you, sir.
Hi, good evening. Good evening to your listeners.
How are you doing this evening?
I'm all right.
the hot topic for the latter part of last week is with our children and the care for our children. I am not going to go down the road whether what is happening, because explain to the listeners of Jamaica and the world, where does the Child Care and Protection Act starts in Jamaica?
Well, I have often said that the Child Care and Protection Act doesn't start at confirmation of an act. It starts at credible concern.
Yes.
Really. It's something that I've often believed in. It starts at credible concern.
Credible concern.
Not whether or not, an alleged incident has really happened. You know, the reality, that's the reality of the Child Care and Protection Act. It is something that should be paramount in our heads at all times.
And you got a report that says shelteries are engaged in certain activity in areas where children can see. Is that so?
Well, yeah, we got reports that you know, shelteries were allegedly, let me use that word.
Yes.
You know, it was reported to us that certain acts were taking place and in the view of students.
Yes.
Now, what in the view means, I mean, in the view of students means several things. It can mean that you are in a place at a location doing something and the students being somewhere inadvertently sees. The curiosity, children are naturally curious, so they may from time to time find themselves in places that they ought not to be, to view or to see something taking place. The reality is that, you know, this is there over after 6 months or after 5 months. Let's say it's 5 months. This becomes their yard, you know.
Of course. After 6 weeks, it becomes your yard.
Yeah, it becomes their yard. They're going to do things that they normally do in their yard. And if it is that intercourse is a natural part of human existence and human interaction. If it is that, and in some of these spaces, you have families living there.
Yes.
In some of these spaces, and if families not live there, then there may be a visiting sort of relationship or a common law sort of relationship. So what you find is that if they want to do anything of a sexual nature, they are not going to go into any bush. Well, first of all, no bush is left in Westmoreland because of Melissa.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can go in the bush. What are they going to do? Take what $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 and go into to a motel? It just doesn't work. That's not practical. The substantive issue has always been the removal of shelteries out of the space of the schools and put them in a dignified setting where they can continue to live their lives and trying to get their feet, them trying to get their lives back together after being devastated by Hurricane Melissa, and schools can be restored to what their real function is in society. That's the substantive issue.
So what you say to those who say that you are undermining the people and who are living at the school?
Well, those statements would be unfortunate because, you know, what about, let me tell you, what about undermining the learning recovery? What about undermining safety? What about undermining duty of care?
Dennis.
Yeah, but all of these are paramount in our mind. And the only solution, legitimate solution to any scenario of this nature must be the removal of shelteries and putting them in a dignified space.
Is May 8 adequate?
Well, here's where no. The short answer to that is no. May 8 essentially takes us, well, as in month 7. May 8 essentially takes us into month 7. However, they have proposed that date, and we intend to hold them accountable for that date, because at the end of the day, there are some persons who believe that accountability is a one-way street. It's not.
Yeah.
It's a dual carriage road.
And
we
go ahead, finish your thought.
I mean, the long and short is, we are going to be watching it closely, and we hope that the matter is well, and we hope that the deadline is honored. However, in the meantime, I believe what is important is that the Ministry of Education takes the necessary steps to heighten security in these spaces, so that the students are insulated, and as well as the teachers are insulated and protected at all times.
I have a serious concern. You said you spoke to the Minister of Education, and you said to her that if some of the reports that you are getting is true, they violate the Child Care and Protection Act. Did I quote you correctly?
You quoted me correctly.
What was the minister's response to that?
The essence of her response was that we should tell whoever it is who is reporting it to make formal reports to the police.
I find that very strange, and I ask you that question because I would have expected the Minister of Education to say, what do you mean by that, Mr. President? What kind of report are you getting? She didn't dig deep to find out what is behind that statement?
No, she didn't, but she is purporting that she did. But my recollection, again, I'm not saying my recollection of the conversation went exactly how I said it went. That's my recollection of the conversation. Yeah, but she has a different version. At the end of the day, notwithstanding her version versus what I know to be what transpired.
Right.
As we have always, as far back as March 8, well, even before March 8, because we wrote letters to the Ministry of Education outlining some concerns that we had with some of the spaces that we visited. Yeah, there was we had a meet. I went. There was a church service in which I made certain pronouncements and said, "Listen to me, man. It violates safety and security. It undermines these things." And here, what is happening? Jamaica is a signatory to 2 very important documents, international conventions. We are signatory. The first one is the well, not the first one. The first one, I don't know, I'm not sure which one comes first, but one of them is the ILO Convention on Occupational Safety and Health. Yeah. And the second one is the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child. Yeah. When you look at those conventions and the wording of it and the language of it, there's no doubt in my mind that Jamaica, as it is now, is in violation of those 2 conventions with respect to the presence of shelteries on the compound. And I can highlight a litany of ways in which that is the case. The reality, though, is we have been very consistent in highlighting various things in terms of what has been happening, the fact that it is undermining safety and security, the fact that it is undermining duty of care, the fact that it is undermining educational recovery. We've always highlighted that, and we have been very consistent with that. The Minister of Local Government publicly dismissed our concerns. Publicly.
You wrote a letter I think to the Ministry of Local Government, ODPM. Did that letter go to the Minister of Education as well?
Yes, it was copied.
Where you gave a deadline.
Yes.
What was the response?
To the best of my memory, to the best of my memory, there was no response coming from the Ministry of Education, formal response, that is, because in all honesty, the letter was just copied to them.
Right.
The owner of the process would have been local government. So that's why personally I was very surprised at the Ministry of Education's stance on this matter.
Because you'd have expected them to stand with you.
I would have expected them to take a particular stand that would have been in the interest of the education system, that would have been in the interest of the teachers and students, and by extension, even the interest of the shelterees. But that was not the case in this instance. How the Ministry of Education essentially inserted themselves in the issue as to the removal of shelterees when they were really not the owners of the process. They couldn't do anything really.
What was the response from the Ministry of Local Government?
He was most dismissive publicly. There was, I gather that a letter was sent to us. We are doing some investigation as to when exactly that letter was sent.
You didn't see that letter?
No, I never saw that letter until, I never saw that letter until, I believe it was yesterday. Never saw that letter.
What?
But I gather that the letter was sent. We sent a letter via email.
Oh.
But I gather that letter was sent via mail. So we are doing some checks to find out exactly when that letter came to our office.
A lot of people have been coming at you about this, Mr. Malava. How does that make you feel as somebody who is out there trying to protect our children, trying to ensure that our children get an education in a safe space?
Here's where I'm at. When at my inauguration, I had a slogan: unmoved, unshaken, and won't back down. I'm firm in my conviction as an individual. Yeah, that I will stand up firmly for what I believe. And anybody who knows me knows that that's how I have always operated. I always stand up for what I believe in. And I've always stood up for people. Because even the Bible, I think it's Philippians 3, verse 4 says, do nothing out of vain conceit. Rather, in humility, value others above self. And that is how I have always operated as an individual. So, people will be people. And if they can crucify Jesus, who am I?
That is it. That is it, sir.
Yeah,
we know you're in a place
I take nothing personally. It is a part of leadership.
Yes.
Yeah. I take nothing personally. It is a part of leadership, but at the end of the day, I, Mark Malava, will always seek to speak truth to power. That's how I have always operated.
Thank you very much.
And hear what is happening. If it was not, and hear what is happening. We have gotten a date, May 8th. That's it.
And you're going to hold them to that date?
We have gotten a date. Yeah, we always wanted a date. We asked for time-bound timelines on which this matter will be fully resolved. We indicated that in various communication to the various individuals, and we have now gotten a date. Is it a good date? No, we believe that it should have come much earlier. However, we have now gotten a date, and that is what we have always wanted. And in many respects, the JTA has been vindicated on this matter.
We're going to leave it right there. We know you have a busy evening, so we're not.
Thank you much.
We're leaving it right there. Thanks for the time, my brother. We'd love to talk to you about the salary negotiation, but let's do that another time.
Yeah.
Blessings. Mark Malava, president of the Jamaica Teachers Association. And let me tell you something. It disappoints me if you see how someone behave that you don't care about not even the picnic them. When it's a wicked set. Not even the picnic them you don't care about. If things are happening at them face, you don't defend on a party over the youth them. God almighty. Ralston.
Yeah, man.
Thanks for staying with us, my brother. So,
Okay.
where do we go as a people now, Raleigh? If we're not prioritizing education, where do we go?
You're going to deeper poverty and deeper social decay. So rather than wasting time on these minor issues, we should be looking at the big ticket issues. And the big ticket issue right now that is taking place internationally, that if we don't deal with these things, we're only going to get poorer and poorer and poorer. Because without education, research and development, you won't have productivity. Without productivity, you won't have a stronger per capita GDP. You won't be growing faster. And it means that you won't have any buffer against international shocks. So what we're calling upon the administration to do is to stop the nonsense. And the Prime Minister must come to the nation tomorrow or Tuesday, whichever of his choosing, because it is already late, and to tell the country what these international developments mean for Jamaica and about the measures that they're taking to not only to deal with these international developments, but also to deal with the problems related to Hurricane Melissa. That is what we want to hear from the Prime Minister tomorrow. Stop this nonsense and just deal with the problems. Yep. And if he doesn't do it, we want to hear from the opposition.
The opposition must take the lead if him don't lead out by Tuesday.
Yeah, man, if him don't do it. Yeah.
If him don't do it by Tuesday, we're calling on Mark to take the lead. Let's hear this caller. Caller, go ahead. Good evening and welcome to Jamaica.
Blessing Godfather. I really can't stay long, but Mr. Malava, I'm my 5th grade teacher at Jonestown Primary School. And I can attest to you that that man is a no-nonsense man. Me know him.
Yeah.
Perfectly.
Yes.
And that man, him don't like a liar. I can tell you that because he was my grade 3 teacher and also my grade 5 teacher. So I can attest to that.
You know
that he's a no-nonsense. Of course, I know him.
All right.
Of course, I know him.
All right.
So just come and tell us everything we want to tell you. Him not
So
lying.
go.
I know him.
All
yes,
right.
man.
The man never come out and say him see nothing, you know. The man say him get report. So I don't understand where some people are jump out. Yeah.
Colin, in a self-respecting nation, this will be a problem, man.
That
a self-respecting nation. Yeah, man. Yeah. So we have no self-respect. Yeah, man. No self-respect.
Hold on, Carl.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Because
yeah,
if you
no
have a
self-respect.
situation 6 months after the hurricane,
Yeah.
and hold on,
yeah, man.
make on hear what Andrew Holness say right up. This is what Andrew said. Listen this.
This totals approximately US $662 million in liquidity that was available almost immediately following the hurricane.
Thank God Almighty, if money are not the problem. If no money are the problem, why under God's earth should we have a problem with picnic and big people? And as Damian said, people who have not been vetted. We don't know who these people have. We don't know what kind of mental issues some of them people have. I want to have them in the school, living at the school with the picnic them, and then some clown, jumbie people out there on social media attack the man. You know, wicked. What kind of somebody want? Go ahead, Carla. Go ahead.
You remember before the election, I asked you if them going to have international body to monitor the election, and you said you guess so.
Yeah, man, and some people came down, but I don't think we had enough.
You think the election did fairly win, or you think it's stolen?
Man,
I think it's stolen.
No, man, the election was not free and fair. And free of fear.
Right.
It was not.
All right. The question I want to ask, no. I don't know if you have the idea, the information.
Well, Raleigh upon the line so maybe Raleigh can help.
Anyone, is there any way the people or the opposition, people could come together and get an international body to investigate these people? I've been asking this question a long time, because I'm ready and willing to contribute. Is there any way that can happen?
I would imagine so. What say you, Raleigh?
Yeah, but the election is done and gone again. That
Not
cannot be
the
reversed.
election, but
Not the
investigate them.
election.
There's
To invest. May I tell you something?
there's
You
enough
see, the
corruption out
labor.
there and thing, man. Remember said some of them under investigation for illicit enrichment and all of them something.
Yeah, man.
But nothing now come. Look here, nothing now come out of these things. If you don't get that in, that's the same thing we
Yeah,
talk
but
about the election.
hold
You know,
on.
the
We
election
are
have a
not going
story.
to
There
get.
is no way nothing going to come out of this under this administration, this investigation.
Hold on there.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, but Carla, you are not going to get any international body to interfere in the internal affairs of the country. What is gone already is gone. What is it that you are going to feel? You are going to feel it from Transparency International. That is going to lead to a loss of confidence, and that is going to lead to less investments in the country and more poverty until you get a next date to make a decision. When that decision date comes, that means that you can invite more international bodies to come into the place to overlook what is going on.
Yeah.
But but that's
Carla,
not
one
going
of
to
the major problem though, Carla, one of the major problem, you have a whole heap of people in Jamaica who don't care. Plus, you have a whole heap of people who are supporting the government with the foolishness.
Yes, that's true, but it's not. All right, remember, you know, there is a lot of law that this.
When there? Carla? Hello? Carla? Look like we lose that caller there. Caller? All right, so if we lose him, let's move to another call. Raleigh, in the meantime, if the Prime Minister don't come Tuesday, can the Minister of Finance suffice?
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. They can remember cabinet meets on Monday, you know, so cabinet meets on Monday. So even if he is not coming, they can put together something and the Minister of Finance address the nation. Remember, whatever comes out of cabinet, the government is a cabinet decision, collective responsibility.
Yes, yes.
Yep.
Obi, turn off what you have in the background there. Go ahead, Obi. Obi, go ahead.
Hi, how you doing?
Yeah, man, we're there.
Raleigh Wagon.
Yeah, man, blessing.
Boy, as I like to say, it seems as if it's punkas, pankas, Raleigh and Colin. Things that get worse. Things that get worse and worse every day. And, you know, we are not reading the tea leaves, Raleigh, as it relates to the international wind that is blowing. And talking about international wind that is blowing, right now we're seeing where a congressman is under severe pressure to basically, you know, cancel his quest for governor in the U.S. and also to step aside from Congress and from an allegation, you know, where a person has brought an allegation that he may have you know, have sexual intercourse with a staff or so on, and he has denied it so far, but people from his own party, the Democrat Party and so on, they are actually calling for him to step aside so to allow the investigation to basically carry through. I brought that into the discussion because of how we just allow everything to go. For example, you just talked to President Malava, and what President Malava said he bring to the attention of the minister, and the minister treats it a particular way and behave as if it never happened. In our self-respecting country, even that would basically call for a resignation.
Yeah, because that's why I went to that question, because I believe based on that alone and the minister's response, the minister should resign.
Yeah, man. But you know, Colin and Raleigh, we're not interested. We're not interested in governance here, so, and then people are being put in position to collect big salary in order for the mouthpiece and political sympathizers and so on for the government. I heard somebody was asking a question about, you know, doing business with the government when you are not compliant, and Raleigh did address it. So there's just so many things that just not happening, and you know, the call that we're making, certainly Raleigh would have basically gotten that out of John Levy this afternoon in his program on Radio Jamaica, you know, where John is saying that, of course, Raleigh lead the discussion that we should have a statement or a present address by the Prime Minister to the nation. And certainly, as Raleigh have been saying, and we endorse that, which we have been even saying before today, Colin, because we have been saying this from
couple weeks now, we've been calling on the Prime Minister to come out.
Right? You know, so we're saying that if the Prime Minister feels so to do, then certainly Mark Jefferson Golden, Marky G, will have to now step up to the plate.
Hold on. From right after the budget, when Raleigh analysed the budget, Raleigh said the man not talk nothing about the war, the man not talk nothing about food security.
Yeah.
And from that time, we are calling them to forward. What you say, Raleigh?
Yeah, and it's now 7 weeks and the thing getting worse.
Country can't run, so.
Yeah.
Country can run
Where is he?
autopilot.
Autopilot,
You know,
that's the point.
so the sevens are in vogue, Colin and Raleigh. 7 weeks since the war,
Yeah, man.
we are entering into month 7 of the hurricane after Melissa. So, you know, and I mean, it's as if we have a government that is just certainly an autopilot. The caller asks a question, when the caller put something out earlier, where I was saying that, you know, if the local persons can basically ask international donors certain question, but I think Raleigh addressed that.
Yes,
did Raleigh address
Yeah,
that?
man, they're not going to. No, they're not going to interfere. This notion that we have that some external party is going to come to save us, we'll get an external disaster. Them to the hour. Yep. We have to take the responsibility to deal with ourselves. Yeah, man.
And this is where Raleigh, what we have been saying, that listen, while we are calling on the opposition, and the opposition must provide leadership to basically galvanize the people, but the people have to show a level of willingness and to flex their muscle. I tell people all the while, there is nothing that government is afraid of than warm bodies lying in your street with placard protesting. Don't have to be burning down anywhere, because we're not supporting the burning down anywhere, no matter. But the people have to basically rally, pun intended. They have to basically come on board and ensure that they send the government a serious signal that it's not business as usual. It's not business as usual.
And if they believe that you are partisan, just ask them to take a look at what is happening in the UK, what is happening in Germany, what is happening in Pakistan, what is happening in many other countries of Asia. The people have taken the streets and so we can't take the high fuel prices. You look at what is happening in Venezuela. The people took the street and so we can't take the high fuel prices and the low salaries. So it is happening right across the board in front of your face. It has nothing to do with partisanship.
Well, Raleigh, you'd have heard me ask Damian if you not think it's time that Damian mentioned Paul Bogle and had people behind him. And I asked him that if you not think it's time that the PNP lead, because somebody have to lead to get the people behind him. So, well, it coming to that time.
That's happening right across the world right now. Yep. Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. And the PNP have to get rid of this coy approach and the thinking that, listen, people are saying, boy, you gotta play politics and so on. They're politicians. Politicians do politics.
Yes, man. They have to play some politics.
And especially, Colin, especially when you are not just playing, you're not doing things that, you know, pick something out of the hat and say, boy, we are going to the protest because we want to carry down the government. We're talking about legitimate things that the opposition must basically lead on out there. And Mark will have to basically be serious about this and understand that he is the man on the bridge at this time, and he has to basically decide to carry the people across River Jordan, so to speak.
And the people who are demonstrating. The people who are demonstrating.
All right.
The people who are demonstrating in the UK, the people who are demonstrating in Germany, the people who are demonstrating in Pakistan, they are not anti-government people, you know. They are the people of the country who say they are being affected by the higher prices. It's not a partisan issue. It's people right across the board.
Looking out for people.
Yeah. Yep.
Raleigh, we'll wrap up. What else you want to add before we go this evening?
Well, all I have to say is that the crisis, the global situation is deteriorating and it is affecting every country. The IMF Managing Director says that the damage has already been done. The President of the World Bank says that we see every country in the world taking steps. The leaders of those countries addressing the people, telling them about the steps that they are going to take to safeguard the economy. We need to hear from the Prime Minister of Jamaica how he's going to deal with the double whammy of Melissa and the war that is leading to a scarring of the global and Jamaican economies. And we need to know what is it that they plan to do about it. And if he doesn't do that, the opposition must take the lead and come and talk to the Jamaican people, because the people need guidance at this point in time. And we don't want the people to be surprised by the high levels of price increases that Mr. Pando spoke about that are sure to come within the next week and the week after. Simple.
Raleigh, before I let you go, the $3.6 billion that the multilaterals have committed to lend us, is there any possibility that we can lose, they can withdraw this money if we not take it up in time?
Of course, because we haven't made any commitment to draw it down, and more people in the world are now distressed. So the IMF Managing Director will be getting a lot more requests. She has already spoken about people looking some $40–50 billion in balance of payment support. And the thing that was before we saw the escalation that we're talking about right now. The international agencies are going to be under significant pressure from more countries to seek assistance, because oil, as she spoke about, the impact on non-oil producing countries, they are going to be under significant pressure and they are going to need balance of payment support right across the globe.
So what recommendation would you give to the government as it relates to those funding that was made available from October, from November, December, that we on the drawdown, what, 400 million so far? What recommendation would you give to the government as it in regards
draw
to
down
those
some
funds?
more, draw down some more of that money, as the IMF is saying, and provide some cushion for the people and the most vulnerable groups in order to deal with the problem. And to provide that cushion, it means that you have to have a growth strategy, because you're already down by 7.5% in the hole, and the budget is going to drag you deeper into the hole. So you need a budget that can help you to come out of the hole, and it means that you need more money. Simple.
So again, we call on the government to recast the 2026-2027 budget and come with some credible numbers.
All right. One of the things that happened again, just to go back to a little in history, when we had the global financial crisis in 2008, the IMF created what they call a precautionary standby facility. In other words, what the money must say, while lending us some money, you know, have to take the money, have it in the drawer, that's if we need it, we can come feet and take it. Mexico and all of those countries did it. Jamaica never did it. And that is why we also got into the big problem that we got into. It's the same approach the man them a take.
Late.
Them not ready.
Late.
Yeah, them not ready. Them always late. Them always a react.
Late pan dealing with the hurricane. Late pan dealing. What a late government.
Yep. Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
I didn't say we're going, but I have a caller. Somebody just take this last call and we'll go. Go ahead, caller. Hello? Caller, you mute your phone.
Hello, Colin. Hello.
Yes. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just give a few points. I'm just share certain things, right?
Yeah.
With all where I'm just going back a little bit. With all where Rosie said about all this stuff was going on. No, you guys really ever think about that? That guy never won. Gregory. What's the guy name?
Steve McGregor.
Steve McGregor. You ever think about that?
Somebody asked me a while ago. I'm tell him say a whole heap of shenanigans go on in the election, man. The election.
All right.
Whole heap of things.
All right. We're move on then, right?
Yeah.
And then, did you guys realize that Andrew, right? Even Malahoo, right? That's Malahoo that's in Mobe. That was criminal offense, right? Do you think?
No, hold on. Careful. Be careful how you sip on social media, yeah?
Okay. With the charge and stuff with his BMW and all that, right?
Who that?
what's the lady name? In Montego Bay, man.
Listen, man, I rubbish them something, them, man. And then sitting away on social media, I rubbish them.
No, he's talking about Dalrymple and the Integrity Commission. That's what he's talking about.
Because you said
My
Malawi.
bad. Sorry.
So if it's Dalrymple, yeah, man.
My bad. Sorry, right? Those did you think that they speed up her case, right? Because they didn't want to put her back in the seat from day one. Because they control the justice system.
I don't think they control the justice system. I don't agree with that. I don't want to agree with that. I don't want to agree with that.
And just to let you know, we still don't have any light in some place in Westmoreland, eh?
I know that. I know that for a fact that a lot of people don't get backlighted. But thanks for the call here. We're going to leave it here. Man. Raleigh, we're leaving it right there. And if you have anything else you want to put in before we jump out.
No, man. That's what I said. We need an address to the nation about the crisis. Either from the Prime Minister or the leader of the opposition. Simple.
Blessings, my brother.
After collaborating with the private sector and all of those people. Yeah.
All right. We'll talk tomorrow evening. Blessings.
All right. Blessings. Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. Listeners and viewers, that was Ralston Iman. Let me say thanks to Damian Crawford. Thanks to Mark Malava. Thanks to all of you, our ardent listeners and followers and subscribers. If you have not yet subscribed to the channel, please remember to subscribe, like, and share the channel. Become a Portland Spice ambassador. Bring 10 people to the channel, man. Make we get to 10,000 now. Look how long we are we're about 150 out to get to 10,000 subscribers. Help us get there. Thanks, everybody. This has been Talk Jamaica for yet another Sunday. We do it this evening. This evening, the program kind of packed. We invite some guests this evening because some shortage of program during the week, and we now shall change the item. May the good Lord continue to bless and keep you. Make his face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. The Lord lift up his light and give you his peace. Until we meet again tomorrow evening for the Colin Bell Show. Peace be with you, my people. Love people, man. Love people more than money. You hear me?